In this video, we're going to talk about how to create a loyal fan base. A fan base that will follow you on all your social media profiles, subscribe to your email list, and most importantly, fans that will buy your products. Now, before we get started, if you're brand new to the channel, my name is Crawford, and I want to give you a chance to win one of my $1,000 courses completely for free. All you need to do is go below, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos, and finally, leave a comment below. Every single day, I pick the best comment to win the course. Now that is out of the way, let's jump into the content. There are plenty of ways to actually go about building a fan base, and honestly, I don't proclaim to be the expert on the subject. With that being said, the methods that I'm teaching you in this video are methods I personally used and I've applied to my business to build a 7-figure business, as well as my students have used them to duplicate and create very similar results. You know, over the last 5 years of my career, I've tested out just about every popular piece of advice that a lot of people like to say, and the one that really stands out to me is be so damn good that people can't ignore you. You know, I think of Field of Dreams when I hear this. Basically, you build it and people will come, and what I can tell you is it just doesn't work that way. So the 5 examples I'm going to share with you in this video are things that I've personally used over the last 5 years of my business, as well as things that I'm still implementing in my business to this day. All right, so tip number 1 is focus on creating 1,000 true fans. Now, I learned this back when I first got started online, and basically in 2008, an article was written by a guy named Kevin Kelly that went viral, and the whole concept was about creating 1,000 true fans. The basic concept of the article is once you create 1,000 true fans that love you, you literally can create a full-time income and a thriving business. You know, this concept isn't just true for online marketers. You know, even though that's what I focus on this channel is teaching people about affiliate marketing and information products, you know, this is true whether you're an artist, you have a local restaurant, you are an online consultant, or do some kind of service for someone. You only need 1,000 true fans to actually create a healthy living. To really illustrate this concept, one of my students, 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿, actually did exactly what we're talking about here. With just 1,000 fans, he was able to create a 6-figure income. Now, what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to flash up a screenshot on the screen so you can see that this actually happened. This isn't something that I'm just making up. It is kind of coincidental that he had exactly 1,000 people in order to make a 6-figure income. But what Steve did is he applied the concepts he was learning from me. He went out there and created a YouTube video, really value-based. It was about an hour long, that answered every single question you could possibly imagine for his industry, which was real estate. And by creating that video and putting the value up front, he was able to generate 1,000 subscribers, or email subscribers to be specific, and those people later went on to buy his products. You know, if you're just getting started, if you're just focusing on actually creating your fan base, it's very easy to look at, you know, peers, or I would say people that are in your industry that are actually already killing it, right? They're already massively successful. They have a massive audience. They have a massive, you know, email list, a massive social media profiles. They're probably multi-millionaires. It's easy to compare yourself with them and think that you got to compete with them, but the reality is you don't. All you need to do is create 1,000 true fans that like you, that trust you, that know you, and you can create a full-time income online. So the important concept for you to realize is you don't need 1 million followers in order to make a full-time income online. You literally just need your 1,000 true fans. If you're not familiar with the 80-20 rule, this basically applies to all areas of life and business. The 80-20 rule basically states that 20% of your fans are going to purchase 80% of the products. And what I can tell you is, regardless of how big of an audience you build, even if you get to 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers one day, you're going to see the 80-20 rule still stays in effect. 20% of those people are going to buy 80% of the products, and that's because those are your true fans. This is why it's important that you should focus on those 20% of people. You should show those 20% of people that you really care, because when people see you care, they actually purchase your products. Those 20% of people are the ones you should be going deep on. You should be going deep on the people that are listening and stop focusing on trying to acquire new fans. You should value every single like, every single comment, every single follower, every single personal message you get on any of your social media profiles. These are the things that you should really care about, and you should put less focus on vanity metrics like, you know, basically getting more followers and competing with your competitors. I want to break down how easy it is to make a 6-figure income when you have those 1,000 true fans. It's literally as simple as selling 100 people a $1,000 product or selling 1,000 people a $100 product. All right, so tip number 2 is to create a community. Now, later I'm actually going to give you a strategy to acquire fans if you don't have any fans yet, but as soon as you start getting fans, you want to create a community so that way your fans can collaborate together as well as with you. A community can be something like a YouTube channel. YouTube channels work really great, but my personal favorite is Facebook groups. The other reason I like Facebook groups is because of the fact that they can engage with you as well as other members of the group. Now, one of the reasons I think that people really love love Facebook groups and it's a great place to build your community is because people feel safe. You can make a Facebook group private where basically people feel comfortable to say things they probably wouldn't normally say outside where everybody can read it. They also feel safe because they're in a group with other people that they feel that are just like them. Now, personally, I've always used Facebook groups to let people into my world. Like out in the open, like on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or my blog or any different platform, right? Anybody can read my stuff. Compared to when somebody actually comes into my Facebook community, I want them to get to know Zach on a very, very deep level. I let them behind the scenes. I let them see what I'm doing in my business. I let them know my fears, my worries, my ambitions, things I'm working on. And the whole point of this is to build a real relationship with these members, to let the people see who you truly are, to let them see your core values, and to let them see that you're not just some marketer trying to sell them things, but you're actually somebody who cares about them and you're a real person too. Now, another thing I actually use my Facebook group for is to survey my audience and ask them questions. You know, in my opinion, this is one of the best places to actually keep a pulse on your marketplace, to figure out how you can help your audience better, how you can constantly serve them. And a lot of times you're going to find as you rise up, as you start making more money, as you start having more influence and building a bigger following, you're going to lose touch with your audience a bit. And it's good to constantly stay in touch with them, to ask them, because it's very easy to overlook simple things that you think you know or you think you know what they want. But a lot of times they're going to tell you things by the questions that you ask them that you would have totally missed if you didn't do otherwise. All right, so tip number 3 is to always over-deliver. And this is very, very important because when you go above and beyond, your customers are going to love you. So one of the ways that I do this, at the bare minimum, I like to like every single comment that I get on social media. I try to reply to every single comment because that shows people you care. It shows people you're listening, and it shows people that you're actually paying attention to them, which is something that most of your competitors will never do. Now, some of the following things I'm going to share with you is going to be pretty much impossible to do once you grow to a certain level. You're going to probably have to get somebody to help you keep doing this. But what I can tell you is, in the early days, by applying some of these concepts, this is how you create true fans. This is how you make a 6-figure income well before you have the audience that justifies it. This is how you go above and beyond for your customers, and this is how you create repeat customers that keep buying everything you put out. One of the methods that worked exceptionally well for me when I first started was replying to every single Facebook message I got, replying to every single email I got personally. Now, there's going to be some of your competitors that are willing to do this, but it's going to be a very, very small amount. But what I did is I went above and beyond. In the early days, what I would do is when somebody would actually reply to, say, an email, or they would reply to a Facebook message, instead of just answering them by, typing something out and taking like 2 minutes of my time, I would personally shoot like a 5 to 10 minute video replying to them with their name, with their situation, with their question that they asked. And what happened was people would literally trip out. They couldn't believe that I took the time to shoot a video with their name in it, with their problems, with their questions. And because of this, I built true fans right out of the gate. By applying this, I was literally selling thousands of dollars of my products and affiliate products every single day from the Facebook chat box and my email inbox just because my competitors weren't willing to do this. If you remember earlier when I talked about Steve Howe and how he made that 6-figure income with just 1,000 true fans, right? Or 1,000 email subscribers, it was because he implemented the exact method I just shared with you. He watched me put it into effect. He watched me share about it. And in fact, I shared it in one of my Facebook groups at the time on a webinar I did for free. And he heard how powerful the concept worked. He went out there and modeled it. He started replying to every single comment he got on YouTube. It's literally like 1,000 comments on his video, I believe, if I remember right. And on top of that, he would even jump on Skype calls to answer people's questions if they had anything. And guess what happened? Once he would answer their questions and they would see like, wow, this guy actually really cares about what I have to say. He cares about my problems. He cares about my questions. And he's actually taking the time out of his day to help me. They bought his products. The last thing I have to share with you on this specific thing we're talking about here is to showcase and celebrate your members' success. So when people actually go out there and apply the things that I teach, whether it be for free or in my paid products, and they actually get some kind of result, I don't care if it's they make $1, they make $1,000, they make $10,000, or they make 6 figures or even 7 figures. I celebrate their success. And the reason I do that is because they get praise from their peers. They get that notoriety. They get that feeling like, oh my God, like it feels so good to actually, be celebrated, so to speak, or to see other people happy for me. And it pumps them up. It gets them excited. It gets them engaged in the community, and it makes them want to go further. By doing this, it takes off the focus on me. You see, I don't want things to be about the Zach show. I want to celebrate my members. Another thing I've done over the years is to basically give away things like free iPads, free podcasting mics, free cameras, different equipment to film videos. I've given away free courses, just like you see me doing on this YouTube channel, free coaching sessions, you name it. I've done this to get people, 1, to take action on what I teach, but 2, to get them to engage in the community. What this this does is it separates you from your competitors. It shows people you're different. It shows people you care. And guess what? Who do you think they're going to buy from? Who do you think is going to be top of mind when they're actually ready to make a purchase? It's going to be you. All right, so tip number 4 is to add value to other communities. So I promised you that I was going to teach you a strategy to actually start getting fans now, to start building your fan base while you're learning other things. And here's the thing, it takes a while to build social media profiles. It takes a while to build a fan base, but there is a way that you can actually do things to get results right now. What you want to start doing is engaging and adding value to other communities that are already established. You know, there's going to be gurus and probably influencers in your industry that are already created things like Facebook groups and forums. And what's great about these types of communities are these are where the most passionate people hang out. These are where people talk about the topics all day long, and these are where the buyers are hanging out, and this is where you want to be active in. This is how I built my first email list and started generating my first fans. This is how I got people to pay attention to me when I was really a nobody. What I did is I actually focused on being one of the most valuable members of these types of communities that had my perfect customer. It's important for you to understand that you could not be a douchebag in order to implement this method. If you go into people's communities trying to link out to your products and constantly trying to sell things, the reality is you're probably going to get banned. I've literally had people do this in my communities and I absolutely hate it. What you have to do is go in and be a real valuable member of the community. You have to go in and add insights and tips and help people with things that you know. You know, you don't have to be an expert yet. You literally can just share things that you already know about and things that you're learning. And you also want to engage with the community. You want to engage with people and actually show people that you're trying to be an active member of the community. Now, with things like forums, usually you can link out. Usually you can have something like a signature link where you can link out to your squeeze page or link out to your blog, and if you do, I highly recommend that you do so if they allow that. However, if you're on social media, let's say Facebook or Instagram or commenting on YouTube channels, you're probably not going to really be able to spam links because what's going to happen is people are going to block you. With that being said, if you're constantly adding value to these communities, what's going to happen is people are going to naturally follow you in the process. I have a few Facebook groups that I'm an active member of the community and I participate in quite frequently. So what I do consistently is just engage in the community. A lot of times I don't even try to post anything about myself. However, I have a strategy I call a value bomb. And what I do is consistently, I try to do it at least every month, every 2 months, I'll go into the community and literally leave what I call this value bomb. It's a massive post. It's usually something like a case study, something valuable that I can share that will help the members of the community. But I don't put any of the focus on myself. I put all the focus on the members, and every time I do this, it never fails to get me at least 75 to 100 new social media followers doing it. All right, so the final tip I have for you is to be consistent. And I know right now you're probably thinking, thanks, Captain Obvious, but at the end of the day, a lot of people have unrealistic expectations. They expect to get rich in 30 days. They expect to build a massive following in 30 days. But if you think about it, nothing great happens that way. It's something that you got to be consistent in and you got to stay with it and master the skill. So my point here is a lot of people give up so quick. And it's because of the unrealistic expectations, and I'd hate to see that happen to you because it saddens me when people do this. When they give up before they actually hit the goal, they're wasting valuable potential. Any successful person you see, whether it's in sports, it's in artistry, it's in business, they all have a few things in common. Number one, they do things until they get the result. The second thing is they have a vision for their success. They know where they want to go. If you don't know the road that you want to take, if you don't know what goal you want to achieve, you're definitely not going to get there. You got to think about what do you want your life to be like 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now, and then you got to create a plan that you actually implement daily. That is what successful people do. They're consistent, they focus on doing the things that are necessary daily, and they do not give up. So what you want to do is develop that mindset that I'm going to do everything I have to do, nothing is going to get in my way, I will not give up, and I'm going to do it until I get the result. When you do that, you're definitely going to build a fan base, and eventually you'll probably have 1 million followers. All right, so that's a wrap. That's my tips that I personally used in my business to get started. It's something that I'm very, very confident could work for you too if you actually apply it. And finally, if you got value from this, I'd appreciate if you'd smash that like button. It helps me reach more people. Also, don't forget to subscribe and take care, and I will see you in the next video.